It's Nico Camarillo, aka at TupacKilla. I'm 22 years old and I like to make hats.
Nice. So now talking about hats, dude, how did you get into that? Like bucket hats, why? Sewing, why? Please wear one because we want to see how it looks.
Like a movie. It came from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It was about like a journalist named Hunter S. Thompson. And that guy's wacko. He's crazy. Like he's definitely got some loose bolts in his head. This guy would just like follow around Hell's Angels biker crew back in the day and just like write about their lives and just observe them. What gravitated me towards the hats was Johnny Depp. He played Hunter S. Thompson,
mm-hmm.
and his fit, he had a bucket hat on the whole movie,
mm-hmm.
and like just had a cig out, just holding it. Like it was very like, I don't know, it was ingrained in my head.
And so you saw it on this movie, and was it all crazy like you're doing them, or just like they were just simple bucket hats, and you're like, I want to go crazy?
It was just simple. It was just simple bucket hats, but in the movie, it was crazy.
Yeah.
The whole plot and premise of him being like in the movie, I don't want to spoil it. Like you guys will watch it, hopefully.
Yeah.
But like he's chaotic and like I don't know. I grew up like watching people go down like a rabbit hole of their own, like indulgence of their own ego, and so does he. And I feel like he's just an observer, and I'm just an observer too, just taking notes, watching from another room.
Yeah, and then you put his character, which is the chaotic character, on his simplified bucket hats, and then boom, the merger.
Exactly.
That's right. And amazing. So how'd you get into stitching though, bro? Like you said, like how were you doing it by hand? How'd you get into like what's the process that got you actually making these babies?
Let me see if I can flip this. Right here,
mm-hmm.
You can see like the little red lines. That's like hand sewn.
Okay.
But these little dots right here, that's by machine. I think I was just like hurt. Like I hurt my foot skating, and I couldn't skate for like a couple weeks. And it was during COVID too, and I didn't have a job, so I was just like, I'm gonna learn how to sew, and literally that's it. You're trying to amplify artists' voices, so am I. Yesterday we did like a little PMA day in a life type deal with my PMA stands for positive mental attitude.
Why did you start PMA? What was the idea behind that actually?
PMA derived from a lot of hurt, I guess. You grow up, at least in my case, I grew up hurt, grew up in a bad home, kind of like a alcoholic type of home, kind of like domestic abuse type of home. But there's plenty of people that have it way worse than these like ruts in my head. Well, I would always like spend the night at my friend's house or like go skate with them all the time. And when I would go like spend the night with my friend's house, like I would actually meet like a nice parent of theirs or like mom and dad, like a really good figure that actually was there for them, their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of showed me like, oh, there's different in the world, like there's actually like good people in the world or like better people, not so messed up, missing. Yeah. Well, even before I started skating, I was like playing football like freshman year of like high school. And then it was cool. It got me like got all the anger out of me, like brought it onto something physical. But even that, like it felt like a routine or it felt like home, like where someone was just yelling at me. And I felt like the skateboard was always in my life, like watching Dogtown
mm-hmm.
and then just seeing like the skate culture around me. And I just freaking saw all around my uncles and cousins, and they always had boards around. So like it was literally just like waiting for me. It was waiting for me. Football definitely has like its persistence and definitely teaches you a lot too about like yourself and how much you can take and how much you can endure and how much pain you can overcome. And I feel like that's why I was able to gravitate towards skateboarding so well too, because it was like the same type of like pain endurement. And then it was just like persistent as well. And freaking, I don't know, skateboarding was always just like very, very persistent. You always had to like, it was all on you every single time.
Well, that's like
Everything.
that's exactly what I wanted to go to. It's like that determination, bro. I've only seen in skateboarders. Like that
Yeah.
thing to fall 150 times while your homie's just recording you. You know he doesn't want to record you anymore. He's sick of it. He's like, bro, stop. But you still keep running that shit until you hit it once, and then that feeling, bro. It's like it's pretty impressive, honestly. It's like a crazy reward system for yourself, like because you know how many hours you put into it, you know how much effort you put into it, and like that reward of just landing whatever trick it is, it's impressive because you manage that yourself. Like you can literally create your own type of path to like extreme happiness for a second because you get whatever trick, you know. So I thought for me that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Mhm.
Like, you'll fucking fall a million times
A million
and
times.
then get back every single one of them just to get that one try.
It's
And like, I think for me, being like a young kid that had a lot of fucking anger in him and like confusion and frustration, like taking it out on my skateboard, it was a way better outlet than abusing drugs or getting into like bullshit, like just hood rat shit. Yeah, I just did a flea market last Saturday,
yeah.
and this girl was walking by, and she was walking in one of my hats that she previously bought like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Damn!" I saw my hat in the wild.
Was that the first time that ever happened to you?
Yeah, it is actually. I was like, "Dude, that's
How does
fucking
it feel?
sick."
Yeah, that must feel crazy.
Yeah, I felt crazy. I was like, "Whoa, what's my hat? This is sick!" Like,
You up.
and it's like one of one. You'll
No,
never get that same pattern again.
ever. That's the beauty of all these pieces, bro. Like honestly,
Yeah,
that's like why I preach the one-on-one so much, bro, because I think it adds so much value to the pieces of clothing. Then
yeah. Fuck designer. We doing one on ones now.
designer. Exactly. What does Nico Tupac, aka TupacKilla, want to do with the world in these years, or like what's your idea?
To see past this like simulation. Honestly,
Mhm.
I'm trying to get people to see past this game, past their hurt, past like everything that sets them back. For I feel like all your hurt, it always sets you back. You get distracted, and like I'm not trying to like invalidate anybody's like hurt. Everyone's hurt is validated, but to a certain extent, where you hold it to your identity, it's like holding it to your ego
Mhm.
when you gotta let it go.
And what advice would you give someone to go towards trying to let that go?
I would say listen to podcasts. Listen to a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of like individuals, like I said when we first started, like
Shoot some recommendations.
I'd say like Joe Rogan for sure. Early Joe Rogan. I don't know about now. For sure, check out Duncan Trussell, fan or what's it called? Duncan Trussell Family Hour. It's he's the creator from that Netflix cartoon Midnight Gospel.
Oh, really? That's sick.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
aren't Midnight Gospel all of his conversations that he just reproduced into animation?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah. That's just
But for sure, that guy, he knows what's up in this world and like how to make light of your hurt or even how to get past your hurt and not just laugh at it.
mhm.
But his podcast is very like educational and has like so many like credible sources too. So many like meditation experts or like
Mhm.
Hindu beliefs and like Buddhist beliefs, like different perceptions of everything, not just one thing.
Mhm.
I feel like people can't dig too deep into themselves or dig too hard into their hurt because it hurts. Like we all hurt. You feel it. You feel that moment, and it might be more exaggerated with other people rather than like people with lower hurt. Not to invalidate people who haven't experienced that much hurt, but
Absolutely.
it's just people are scared to admit they're hurt, to admit to themselves that they are hurt and they feel these feelings when everybody wants to like be strong and calm and collected.
Mhm.
But like at the end of it, like you're still hurting and you can't get nowhere spiritually, at least in my head, without acknowledging your hurt. because those are all your feelings as well. Just like your good feelings, those are your feelings too, even though they're bad. You have to accept it. And I feel like it's also like a society type of like brainwashing and manipulating. Say like, dude, like if you look everywhere on your phone, on Instagram, on YouTube, there's ads everywhere. Everywhere is an ad. And like people forget that they are the user. And just like drugs, you become a user and you become like numb to the effect of what you're using. So like spiritually, it's good to take time away from like all these social media platforms and even your phone at least, and like to take a step back because like you're using. We're all drug users.
Absolutely.
This is like dopamine levels rising to the top, just like drugs.
Solve anything in the outside if you haven't really solved everything in the inside, and I think that's like the hardest part. And we're not really promoted to do. You know, we have like all these things that like distract us. Like you could be distracted 24 hours and never have to think about how you feel inside. You know, and that's like all these drugs, these movies, these TV, these the food, everything. You know, it's kind of like done in a way which like it cures the symptoms, but it never cures the disease. You know, like the disease put that out there. But I think that that's where the shift has to be, bros. I agree with you, man. We're here posting something on social media for other people to see, and it's ironic because we're shitting on social media, but there's like, you see, it's a double-edged sword in everything, and you have to really find the balance, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So you see that?
Exactly.
Find that balance.
Exactly.
But you know, we just using the social media as a platform and tool, especially if it's a big tool to like get to the youth. This is what the internet was meant for, to like get across the world and help others and see different perspectives. But you know, big companies and corporations take over the internet and make it into
Business.
like consumer products and everything.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we're doing. But like, and that's really with everything, bro, because we can use it as a tool. And I really want everyone to like understand that use these things to the best of your effect, but don't let them use you. Like,
exactly.
It's such a hard distinction because there's such a gray line and a slippery slope where like, I could think I was like trying to find new artists, and then 45 minutes later I'm scrolling on my friend's page. I'm like, how did I get there? You know, but it's like it takes advantage of like how easy, how lenient we are, like, letting ourselves like be like indoctrinated by these like fucking media outlets or whatnot. You know, so I think that's a huge point. It's like, be careful and like look at yourself do these things. Like see yourself, see the 45 minutes go by and that they slipped out of your mind. Try to remember what you were doing those 45 minutes. You'll see that you were sleeping. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, people got to critical think nowadays. You know, they have to really think about everything. Think about why they buy the things they buy, or why they're on their phone for so long without like you got to think about why you're on your phone. What the fuck is the purpose of this phone? What's the purpose of Instagram? You know, what's the purpose of working at this job for almost like 3 years now? Well, like, what am I doing outside this job? Like, there's just so many questions to ask yourself. And once you start asking yourself these questions, your life just goes into a much brighter route. Because the way like we've been conditioned and like grown up, or I mean raised, like in America, you're not thinking. No one ever thinks about why they buy the stuff they buy. Like, and it's kind of just like brainwashing, propaganda by big businesses that literally take over our minds. And like for everybody listening out there, try and take hold of your own mind. Like now's the time to do it. Like you could clearly see how the world could just change 180, and you're not doing what you need to be doing, or you're not free as you wish you would be. You know, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, be real, have a conversation like me and Diego are having. Like these are the conversations that actually mean something in this world, and that will take me and you to a different perspective. It's not, we're not just talking about like, have you seen the new dunks or something?
Absolutely. We're over 20 minutes of filming, but I think this is like the perfect way to kind of end this with your message to the people right now. And I want to thank you, bro. Like your hats are fucking amazing. Truthfully. Thank you again.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.